system is.
Glare out.
Yeah.
Here's a Jeep right near where the ROTC building, and it's part of the I went there to lend my voice to oppose what Richard Nixon had said on April the 30th, Thursday night, about expanding the war into another country, and remembering the fact that in 1968 he said he had a secret plan to end the war. And this didn't look like a secret plan to end the war. This looked like a secret plan to expand the war. And that really upset me. So I went to the rally that day to express my opinion on it and to do something constructive if I could to get the government's attention that what they were doing was wrong, and we needed to change course. And heard the bullets coming, and then I heard rounds hitting the ground around me, and then I got hit, and it felt like a bee sting. And then after getting over my initial shock, I'm saying, "Oh my God, there's still bullets hitting the ground." I mean, you could hear them going into the ground right beside me. And then I started praying that I wouldn't get hit again, and thankfully the shooting stopped shortly after that. I think the protest, back to the protest, I think they're legitimate. I have no problem with them. I question whether college administrators and trustees of colleges have learned any lessons from the 70s. You know, people have the right to protest. Their protests up until this point have not involved denying people access to buildings and to classes and to services on the community, in the community of the schools. And I think they're being a little heavy-handed, a little over the top in relation to dealing with the concerns by the students.
So I think at Kent State, largely driven by our history, we're always and consistently about a couple of things. One is we embrace freedom of speech. And another thing is we understand what happens when conversations, attitudes become so polarized that someone that doesn't agree with you becomes demonized, that can lead to violence. So I think we've, for many years now, have approached myriad issues with that attitude.
It's constantly the back of my mind. Everyone's talking about it. I know everyone's posting about it. My biggest fear is because, like, the history of May 4th, we know what happened with the National Guard, is that they bring the National Guard to Columbia, and that it's like history repeating itself with May 4th, because a lot of these student protesters, I know people criticize them for being students and protesters, but their protests are organized. If there's a protest happening, it's organized. There's never just a spur-of-the-moment violent protest. And I think it's because the history of Kent State, so kind of fearful for what this impending doom of student protesters pertaining to Columbia